Hey everybody, my name is Brandon Scott and welcome to the Fandom Pastor, which can be found on our YouTube channel, Facebook page, or podcast. The Fandom Pastor is for all of us who love our fandoms and our faith. Fandoms are anything that somebody has a deep love for. Harry Potter, Broadway musicals, cult films, to name just a few. Join the Fandom Pastor as we see how God is connected to it all. And don't forget to share, like, and subscribe.
Hey everybody, this is Pastor Brandon with the next episode of our Fandom Pastor series on Christmas movies. So the clue from last time was this Christmas film was the most successful of the entire 10 movie series at the box office. These were not all Christmas movies. This was the only Christmas movie of this series. The movie is Ernest Saves Christmas. It is kind of goofy, it is kind of silly, but if you grew up watching Ernest, you know exactly what you're getting into. There's no question about it. So if you've not seen it, the story goes that Santa Claus is looking for the next one to take over for him. And Ernest is a taxi driver that picks him up and is trying to help him out. So Santa has come to Florida to talk to Joe, who is a children's show host, and he wants him to take over. He's looking for Joe to take over the role of Santa. And so Ernest, along with this young lady, Harmony, are trying to help Santa, and things are just going kind of crazy. Uh, and if you, again, have ever seen an Ernest movie, you know that this is kind of par for the course. Well, the story goes that Joe, he loves kids. He loves doing anything he can. And so after his children's show had been canceled, he kind of didn't know what else to do. And so Joe has been, looking for work, and his agent has been looking for work too. Well, his agent gets him a tryout for an audition for a movie. It turns out it's a horror movie, and Joe is not comfortable with it at all, especially since there are some children on set, and he can't bring himself to play the role, to use some of the language that the role calls for him to do. He just doesn't feel that it's appropriate. So eventually, Joe gets the offer from Santa. Initially, he turns it down, but he then comes back to Santa and realizes it's a real job offer, and he takes it. And the thing is, he's very passionate about working with kids, about his true calling. And so the question I ask you is, what are you passionate about? What do you like to do? See, God has given us all abilities and spiritual gifts and things to serve His purposes and to serve the world's purposes and to give us joy. So would you what would you like to do? Where do your passions lie? Colossians 3:23 says, "Whatever you do, do your work heartily, as for the Lord rather than for men." And that's what we do when we drive our passion, while we enjoy what we do, while we truly engage in the using the skills and the abilities and the spiritual gifts that God has given us. God's given us all sorts of wonderful gifts, and how are we using them? And if you have not realized, using those gifts for His purposes gives us great joy. So not only do we benefit the world, but we actually benefit us too. And ultimately, of course, we benefit God. And so it's a joy to be able to use your gifts. So are you using, as we speak of Christmas and gifts, are you using the gifts that God has given you? So our clue for next time, which will be our last Christmas movie of this year, there were only two Christmas-themed movies that came out in 1989. Prancer was one of them, and the other was this film. And Johnny Galecki was actually is an actor. He was in both of them. Thanks, God bless, and check in with you next time.